Hello, welcome back. It's time for another movie review. Welcome to my world of stuff. First of all, my name is Paul Mount. It's movie review time. Before I get on to that, though, if you are new here, if you've just stumbled across this channel, if you've seen this film and wonder what other people thought of it, why not like and subscribe? That would be smashing. Press that subscribe button, press that bell thing, and you'll be notified of new videos when they come out, which is quite frequently. Right, reviewing a film called The Dive. This is an unusual film that's appeared in British cinemas. Unusual because there are lots of films like this that don't get to British cinemas. They end up on DVD or streaming services. I'm thinking particularly one called, I think it was called The Deep House, which came out last year, which is quite a good sort of underwater horror film about this young couple investigating this flooded town and strange ghostly phenomena that dwelt therein. This is similar to that sort of film, and it's also similar to several other films. If you remember Four, which came out towards the end of last summer, this was about the two daredevil girls who climb up this massive transmitter pylon in the middle of nowhere, then get stuck up it. This is a sort of flip reverse of that, because this time two sisters, go underwater exploring and get trapped. One of them gets trapped following a rock fall. It's also reminded me of things like 127 Hours, the Danny Boyle film starring James Franco about the explorer who gets his arm caught in a cleft of rocks. It's that sort of thing. So it plays on those sorts of terrors, if you like, of being trapped somewhere, unable to escape in some inaccessible place. So it is very much the flip of Fall from last year. The story basically is these two young sisters. They got a bit of trauma in their background, and they're sort of opposites, really. One of them is young and enthusiastic and vibrant, and she's really enthusiastic of what they do and their adventures. The other one just goes through the motions. She plays along. She hasn't got that thrill anymore, and she reluctantly joins her sister every year on some adventure or other. There's been a bit of family background, family trauma that's sort of sketchily indicated in relation to their father, who the suggestion is perhaps he might have been a bit abusive. But they travel, as people do in these films, to the middle of nowhere. They park up, they walk down the steps, they go into the water, and then investigating underwater. There's one of these things I don't understand why people do things like this. I don't understand spelunking, which is cave exploring. My idea of excitement is walking into the cupboard to open up a new packet of digestive biscuits. But there we are. People seem to enjoy doing these sort of extreme sport things, but that's not for me. I think Ludo is about as extreme as a sport as I've ever played. Anyway, these two girls go investigating this, swimming about, having a lovely old time. Suddenly there's some sort of rock fall above them, a cliff fall, and lots of rocks and boulders crash into the water. They manage to dodge most of them, but one of the girls, the miserable one, if you like, she is trapped. Her leg is trapped between two big chunks of concrete stone. She can't get out. With air running out and air supplies low, the other daughter has to get to the surface to try and find a way to rescue her. They're in the middle of nowhere, so there's no chance of getting help. She tries to get into their car to get to air canisters, to get a jack to try and get the boulder moving, but she can't get into the car. The car's inaccessible. She has to do drastic things to get into it. It's a race against time, really, because the other sister has got a limited supply of oxygen, and the other sister, and you notice I'm using the names of sister rather names, I can't remember their names. She's back and forth trying to help her out, but the other sister starts to think that maybe it's not such a bad fate, passing away in a place that she loves underwater. It's an odd film. It's very tense. It's well done. It's very well made. The underwater filming is incredible, extraordinary. It looks fantastic. It really looks cinematic. It really looks big. And it's one of those situations that you don't want to be in yourself. I remember seeing The Descent, Neil Marshall's film about the girls who go spelunking years ago, and they get caught and trapped by these hideous creatures underground. And there are a couple of scenes there of people trapped in these narrow vents and crevices and things like that. Just make my flesh creep, because that panic that you would feel being trapped. And there is a sort of a primeval fear that we all have, really, a primal fear of being trapped. unable to move, unable to escape from somewhere. And that's what this film engenders. It gives us that feeling of, I wouldn't like to be stuck down there with the air supply fading away and unable to move. And that's basically what the film is. There are some distractions, several sort of hallucinatory scenes where characters are sort of flashing back to their childhood, where their father was sort of teaching them to swim and going a bit over the top with it, frankly. But those scenes sort of are there either just to pad up the running time or to just add a little bit of colour to the relationship between the girls and their distance between their family. I mean, it's quite thin stuff, really. It's in terms of character development, because we're there really to see the underwater stuff, which is very good and works very well. A lot of it's quite murky, so if you're watching it, you're better off in a darkened cinema, because obviously it's underwater, it's murky, and there's lots, sometimes it is hard to work out exactly what's happening. What's exactly she doing now? But generally, it's sort of quite easy to follow, straightforward storyline, which occasionally looks as if it's going to go into some darker, bleak places. I won't spoil it, obviously, but it's just interesting to see a film like this in the cinemas in the UK. It seems to get a fairly wide distribution. It's getting a lot of late afternoon, early evening screenings, so it's out there. And if you are into those sorts of films, if you liked Fall and Descent and those sorts of films where people are trapped, I think you'll get a lot out of this. It's not the best of the type I've ever seen. I think I preferred Fall, but 90 minutes... it won't take up too much of your time. And it's worth a look. It's very well directed. The script obviously doesn't, offer much in terms of dialogue and so on, because it's not that sort of film. It's about the jeopardy. And on that basis alone, it's entertaining. And I'm going to give The Dive. I'm going to give The Dive 6.5 out of 10. Because I did enjoy it, but I've seen better. And I think in terms of these sort of situations, I do find underwater stuff a little bit dreary, because it's, as I said, it's murky and it's dark and it's a very alien environment, whereas, being trapped in a tower or something isn't quite so alien, because the undersea kingdom, as we know, is a mysterious place. But anyway, that's out in cinemas now. Worth a look. It's a quiet time at the moment, so I think you could do worse than take a dive on The Dive. Right, thank you for watching. As I said, please like and subscribe, and leave a thumbs up and all that sort of caper. Leave a comment as well. That's marvellous. And I'll see you soon. Until I do, just keep taking the stuff.